Insights with Terri Ep.141, a weekly look through the eyes of predictive astrologer Terri Ep.141. Here's Terri.
Hello everybody, this is Terri, and you're listening to Insights with Terri Ep.141. Thank you for joining me. We will be talking about the week of October the 9th through the 15th, 2023. Now, we still have that Libra energy that's quite powerful, both in the sun sign and in Mercury. It will as well change from Libra, which is in Mars right now on the 14th, to Scorpio. So that's something I'd like to discuss really quickly with you too before we're over. These changes always affect us one way or another. If you want to find out more about the Libra energy, I discussed it pretty heavily last week. So if you wanted to go to see the archived podcast that Charlie O'Brien, who I am so grateful for, has created the website and put us on the different platforms like Spotify, Apple iTunes, Amazon Music, SoundCloud, YouTube. So you can apprise yourself of previous sessions that he has up there. It's basically, in a nutshell, really, really fast, it's just balance, trying to find balance in all sections of our lives. Everything, patterns, relationships, mainly, not exclusively, but mainly because Libra lives naturally in the 7th house, which is other people and others and partnerships, partners in business, partners in relationships, partners in friendship. So it's all about that. And as I said, just go to the website, www.terriworld.com. Now we will be having a transition in Mars. Mars right now, as I'm speaking to you, is in Libra and has been for quite a while. It will be transitioning to Scorpio on the 14th. Now, it's not just the 14th. There's a transition. Think of a logging truck that's driving down the road and then has to stop. You can slam the brakes on and the load will shift. It could kill the truck driver. It could kill anybody that's in front of it. So it's a slower transition. It's a heavier planet. But the actual change doesn't happen in a moment. So then what we have to do is we have to be aware of it changing and getting ready for that shift. And Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. Pluto being the planet of hard knocks, transition. In Greek mythology, Pluto guarded the gates of hell. So we had to go to hell and back and get the answers. They called it Hades back then. But huge transformative events that happen in our lives that force us into some kind of change, good or bad. That's not always our choice, but we can help it a little if we maybe jump off the cliff before we're thrown off the cliff. Maybe doing some self-work. And then Pluto is in Capricorn. It's been retrograde for quite a while. It will be going direct on the 11th of this week. So you're having these changes and in deep transformation. So I did pull some cards for us, and we're going to talk about that because that's reflecting it too. So there is no exceptions. Many of us will be going through some deep changes in the next little bit. And just look, really, I don't want to get into politics too much, but we live here on Earth. And if you look at what's going on in Israel, these are going to be some very deep changes for the world. Not just them. I mean, them absolutely. But this will be for the world. This is going to change so many things. Having it happen without people knowing it was happening, not being taken unaware. There'll be some changes in that. There's just so much. I wouldn't even know where to start, and I'm not a politician. I just complain. So we have to look at this, and the tower came up in the reading that I did for everybody generally. So we have to take a peek at that. So there's a lot going on, an awful lot going on. That Scorpio energy in Mars is psychic, and the difficulty with that is that if people haven't developed their ability to use their intuition creatively in a positive way, it can really hammer at them. So that can turn into deep depression, extreme sadness, feelings we just can't get a hold of, wondering, why am I feeling this way? What's wrong with me? Kind of an energy field. So looking at that, if you do get sad for no particular reason that you can put your finger on, it could be cosmic, it could be collective consciousness. Bear that in mind. If you're not dealing with yours, you'll be dealing with somebody else's, and then trying to identify it may be more difficult. But sometimes we don't have an answer for it, and we just have to accept it as it is and work with it in any way we can, creatively. Now, the beginning of the week, in the vulnerable body parts, we'll be looking at the heart, blood pressure, blood circulation, the aorta. So it's both our physical heart and our emotional heart that could be at risk, could be vulnerable. So if you're in relationships that are difficult, you may feel a little bit more. If you have truly a heart issue in your blood pressure, your blood circulation, your heart, take care of that little baby, listen to it. If it complains about something, take it seriously, listen to it. And then towards the middle of the week, we'll be transitioning from that vulnerability to our stomach, which would include more the pancreas, the small intestine, the digestive tract. So if you have a sensitive tummy, that's Wednesday on the 11th, and a little bit before and a little bit after, it's not right on that moment. It just comes and kind of sprays on us. Take care. I myself have that energy, that Virgo energy, that I have to be respectful of what I put in my mouth. So I'll be very careful not to eat more fat than I need to with pancreas. Pancreas don't like fat. It can give you some real good issues. Be careful if you need fiber because you get constipated. Get some brand buds, do whatever it is you do to keep yourself running smoothly, because this could be a time of impaction, of constipation, of going the other way with diarrhea. It's our small intestines, our digestive tract, that will give us grief if we're vulnerable in that area. If you're not, you may find that for the first time you will be. So just be respectful of your body in that area. And then towards the end of the week, the moon on Friday the 13th, and I think Friday the 13th is a positive day. I don't find it negative. That's something that the Catholics, and I was raised Catholic, so I can say it, the Roman Catholics were trying to get rid of paganism, and that was a day of celebration, and they put a negative connotation on Friday the 13th. I experience it personally different. It is a very lucky day for me, as it was supposed to be originally. So it's kind of a day that I really use as positively for creativity, for visualization, for mind, body, spirit, kind of a thing. Friday the 13th, the moon is in Libra, so we've talked about all that Libra energy. Now, we are talking about body parts, so you may find your body part of your kidneys, your bladder, your urethra a little bit more sensitive or vulnerable. So if you tend towards UTI infections or anything of that nature, just take care. Just be a little bit on top of things. If something feels wrong, it is. And be on top of it. I'm a big essential oil user, and there's tons of information out there. So sometimes if I just get suspicious when the moon is in this position, I will take maybe one or two little drops and put them, the correct drops, and put them in the correct spot. And there's so much information out there. I won't beat your ears to death on that. And the new moon is on Saturday, and that's the 14th, and that will be in Libra. And it's a solar eclipse. So we're working with a ton of energy this week. The solar eclipse usually, now I'm going to pair this up, I should say. The solar eclipse, as well as on Sunday, the moon makes a transition to Scorpio. So when you tie all of that together, the solar eclipse usually is change and shifts. And then you tie it with that Pluto teaching, deep transformation that we're going through. You're looking at extremely transformative events that can happen in your life, or people that you know, and so that's what we're supposed to be doing, is looking at how can I transform, what needs to be transformed in my life. This brings portals that are open for us to heighten our vibration, to heighten that frequency that we have, to make it a higher frequency. So we're having an opportunity to make more of ourselves and to bring about change. That's what this is all about. To open roads for us, even close doors if we're not on top of it. So some doors are better left closed, but I don't want to be trapped either. So you have to judge for your own life. Look around, take that moment and decide what's going on in my life that could trap me or close a door, or what could open a door for me to step through and experience something new. With Scorpio coming in the moon, the solar eclipse, the new moon on Saturday, we can expect power struggles, again pointing back to Israel. Power struggles. There may be power struggles in our own Canadian politics or corporations or where we work or family matters. It is underlined in bold, italicized, power struggles. So, be prepared. If I know that this is coming, I'll look at some of the people that I feel icky with sometimes, knowing it is a power struggle, and that's ego, right? And I'm just prepared to try not to go down that road, go down it a little differently. So be prepared, kids, for this week, for events, or next week. It's not right on the dot. To force a change in our lives, to open up that new chapter of our lives, to maybe be proactive and say, what path am I supposed to be taking? What path will I take? Right one, wrong one. It's up to you. This is really focused on relationships. It's not exclusive of relationships, but Libra energy is usually first and foremost relationships. So how do I collaborate? That's something that you may need to look at. The number 8 was given to us for this week to combine with these energies. And number 8 usually is considered an ambitious number, a desire for power, a desire for money. We may be willing to take risky journeys to bring them to success. So you pair that with what we've got going above us. I can understand why the number 8 came up for us. So be particularly careful in where you tread, because there might be some very ambitious people around you that might not be in the best energy field and could step on your toes, especially at work. It's sometimes family dynamics too. The problem with number 8 and where the planets are right now is lacking courage, lacking endurance, lacking maybe mental balance at this time, because we're striving for it. We may not have it. And so you take that lack, we may not have the courage to stand up and say this is wrong. We may not have the endurance to go the distance. And we may not have the mental balance to make good choices. So really look hard at people around you, look hard at yourself in all your areas. This is supposed to offer us good management skills and organizational talents. If we use it correctly, it can go the other way too. It is supposed to offer us to be tough, to be persistent, but conservative, not stupid conservative like I'm seeing some parties. It's just ridiculous, but conservative in a balanced way, in a proper way, in a way that is in good interest for other people. And it's important for us to understand how to maintain that balance should we be able to find it as we're searching for it, and maintain it. Sometimes we get balance for a minute and then we're out of balance again and rolling down the hill again. So we have to look, when we are finding this, to be able to understand the causes and the consequences, so we can keep the balance, giving it and receiving it. Now, when I look at that, I go back to dogs and training, right? I see so many times that people don't give their animals in their training causes and consequences. So if the dog lunges, they may, jerk the dog back so it doesn't kill a little white fluffy dog. That's good. But what caused that lunging? Maybe lack of training, maybe lack of paying attention. You didn't see it ahead of time, so you waited till it already happened. Now you're being reactive as opposed to proactive. And what are the consequences? They just hold the dog back, but the dog never gets a consequence. So if I have told my dog to leave it, I see the little white fluffy thing coming. It's not lunch. Sorry, kiddo. And I say leave it. I help the cause of not lunging, but if they did lunge and said, you can't make me, there will be a consequence to that. So many times in our lives as humans, we are not experiencing consequences anymore. Nobody gives a consequence to anybody for doing something that is deterrent. So we have to look at that. The universe is going to offer us causes and consequences more so than we do to ourselves. So it's important to keep balance with that, to look at, okay, where is this coming from? How do I work with it? And how do I not stay in consequence, but maybe try it again? What they want us to understand, Venus being the ruler of Libra, and Venus wants all kinds of stuff. Venus always wants everything very, rich tanned leather, good things. And we've got to watch our money when we do this. Material property is not going to bring us peace or satisfaction. And it has to benefit others, or it won't bring peace or satisfaction. So they're going to try to demonstrate that to us. So be aware of the situations and know that it's focusing in that way. Build your strong character. Build that determination to overcome obstacles. That's what they're trying to do with the events that you are going to be experiencing this week. The weakness of all of these planets in number 8 together is that we have to be careful not to abuse power, even in our own little lives, because it will have serious negative consequences when we have this Scorpio, when we have this Pluto. This is karma being a bitch immediately. So if you want it, bring it on. If not, I would prefer to avoid that myself personally. So it's good if you learn to wait for your success, not giving up, but waiting. If you rush in and not complete your lesson, there's a risk of so many failures. There's a risk of aggression, of toughness in a negative way, intolerance, impatience. So that's the weakness of this number. And Libra being the woman with the blind justice, watch for legal problems. If you are in financial issues or you have any legal issues, it's not a really great energy for it right now. So be careful. And being picky and moody is one of these downsides to this. Just quickly, I said I would do some of the cards that came up. If any of you have a deck, you'd understand this one. This one is the Tower. Ugh, right? Tower's not an easy one. It's an energy field that takes our life. It's a major card and collapses so many things in our life and then allows us to rebuild. But boy, that collapsing stuff, that's hard. So it's like a bolt out of the blue. It comes out of the blue. It collapses so many aspects of our life. And basically trying to get rid of the old way, bringing in the new. How do we rebuild? How do we restructure? How do we look at things? It's really important. So sometimes there's shocking revelations with this. Sometimes there's experiences. It can be very traumatic. As I said, major transformation with all these planets. And crisis points for many people. Many people. Unavoidable change, whether we like it or not. I prefer to pick my own battles, so if I can, I try to embrace that change if I know it's not going to be my decision, and try to get myself released from some of this bondage by embracing that change and working with it instead of against it. So if some of you are in illusion, and I notice that many of us are in many different aspects of our lives, this is the opportunity to break that illusion, to kill it, to choke it to death, bring it to the ground and pummel it. So that's going to be liberating. It allows us to break free. So some of you will use that to your benefit, and some of it will use it as a detriment to yourselves. But if we use it well, it's a shocking spiritual enlightenment for so many people. It's purging. You know what you feel like? You feel sad you're getting rid of all those jeans that don't fit anymore, but now you can actually see in your closet. And be prepared with the way the planets are coming right now, that rapid change. So the cards are supporting it, the astrology is supporting it, and the psychic information. Also work. The areas of work for any of you that are working may be difficult in the emotional state. A lot of emotional cards came up upside down in the work arena. So if you're already experiencing difficulties at work, it may be a little bit more significant. And just see how can I work through it positively. They do want us to look at our health. Health can be an issue for many people, meaning the immune system mainly. So really bump up your immune system. They're trying to bring attention to health matters. And anytime they've done that, I know something's coming. There's no doubt. They don't say, look here, for no reason, ever. So that's starting to wear a mask, maybe, if you choose. Making sure that everything is up to date, making sure you're on top of your health issues. Or if there aren't any, don't make any. So be right on top of that. It's an opportunity to fix our health. They're not punishing us, but sometimes it's hard getting there. Now, again, I would like to take this moment to thank you for listening. I really appreciate your time. I really do. It's the biggest gift anybody can give another person. Thank you so much, I say with humility. And I want to thank Charlie Brown. Oh, I'm sorry, Charlie. If I knew how to edit, I would. And I can't, and I'm stuck with it. I would like to thank Charlie O'Brien, for putting us on Spotify, Apple iTunes, Amazon Music Podcast, SoundCloud, YouTube. He will give us the link for YouTube after I give it to him. He's really prompt on these things. And please visit the website that he has created for me, www.terriworld.com. That's TerriWorld.com, where he's archived some of the podcasts from the last 4 or 5 sessions. Thanks again, everybody. Thank you, Charlie. You have yourself a wonderful week. If you need me and you'd like a personal reading for yourself, you can text or call 519-726-6699, or you can email me at terri.coutts@gmail.com. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Visit Terri's website at terriworld.com. TERRI world.com.